Welcome to Small Biz Life, episode 75, social media scheduling update.
Part 2. Wait, not the update part 2. Does this sound familiar?
Oh my God, I have so much to do today.
Don't forget to breathe.
But I have almost 400 emails in my inbox and 30 phone calls to make.
Have you looked into getting a virtual assistant yet?
Oh, and I need to schedule all my social media posts.
Did you drink anything today?
I had coffee.
Did you eat today?
Did I mention coffee's a bean?
This is Small Biz Life.
Hey guys, welcome to another exciting episode of Small Biz Life.
My name is Jeffrey W. Ingram, and we have the coordination that only high professionals can have.
And I'm Kristen Ingram, and we are husband and wife team owners of Ingram Digital Media. Woo, that sounds so impressive every time I say it. Inc. And we are super excited that you're here with us again this week.
Yeah, no, this is an interesting thing. A New Year's starting. Quite about in the way, actually. And, we like to always look and relook at tools. Typically, we target tools that we see other people talking about just to see what we think of the tools and how we think that they can play into overall social media strategy.
All right. And we know how busy you are because, we're small business owners too. And so, every once in a while, we kind of like to look at some new tools that are out there and let you know what we think of them. But first, if you're a returning listener, we want to thank you for being here again.
Yes.
And if you're new to the show, welcome.
Yeah. No, it's very nice to meet you. I'm the sane one, and this is my lovely wife, Kristen, who's a little crazy at times, but...
Yeah, okay. Sure. So this week, Jeff and I were on our way to an event, and our car got hit by another car. And so we're dealing with all of that, and
unfortunately we're shaken and not stirred.
That's right. And so we've got a couple costs coming up that we hadn't planned for, and so we decided that this would be a really good opportunity for us to offer you guys a deal.
Yeah.
So that if you've listened to the show before, we have a monthly membership site called Small Biz HQ. And we want to offer you your first month of Small Biz HQ for $5.
Yep.
So you can try us out for 30 days, see what you think, help us offset the cost of dealing with the car. This is normally $49 a month, but we want you to check this out. And next month, we are going to be talking about different content creation strategies.
Yep.
We're going to be talking about, a little bit about video, a little bit about podcasting, a little bit about blogging. We do all three of those things. And so, that's going to be the main scope. So if you're having trouble with content creation,
or especially knowing how you want to do it.
Right. This is a great way for you to kind of hop in, check out Small Biz HQ and look at your options.
And then we'll be giving away some of the advantages and disadvantages of each of the different platforms.
Right. So the coupon code, you're going to go to smallbizlife.com, click on Small Biz HQ, and the coupon code to save $44 off your first month is March45. So March, FOR, the number 5.
Yeah. And if you forget that, just go to smallbizlife.com, go to podcast. Under this episode show notes, Kristen will have it listed in there, but it will only be valid for this month, I believe.
Right, for the month of March.
Yep.
Hopefully my car gets fixed before the end of March. God, I hope so. So let's look at some social media scheduling tools that, kind of come up on the radar. We've said before we use Edgar. We use Grum.
Yep.
And sometimes we use Buffer for things. So we kind of want to give you an update on a couple new tools we found, compare those to what we're using right now, and talk about kind of some of these where they're going in the future.
I mean, we kind of look at it as a 3-part strategy to have a fully automated social media presence. Well, not fully automated, but sort of the sharing marketing aspect of it. And the first phase is, when I create new content, it should get shared out. Phase 2 is I should be able to get other people's content into my feed to help share more stuff that will help the audience that you're listening or that listens or read your content. And then step 3 is to actually build up libraries so you constantly have your old stuff getting pushed back out there that's still relevant for people today.
Right. So, for Twitter and Facebook, and even LinkedIn, we're really big fans of building libraries of content that automatically go out. And so what that means is, like, if you've got a blog or you've got a YouTube channel or you've got a podcast, the content that you are creating is going into the social media manager and then it gets recycled over and over again without you having to do anything.
Yeah.
That's why we are a really big fan of the library-based systems. Okay. And if you have an RSS feed, you can pull all that in automatically.
And just to give you a bit of the impact, when we started using this first on the World Builders Anvil, my downloads per month were about flat, and I would occasionally get a little spike and a little growth, but it was generally flat for several months. And then the only change I made, probably around June or July, was I started sharing out my content consistently. My new episode would go out at least once a day the entire week, and 3 times a day I'd be sharing out previously done episodes. And that one thing, in the last 6 months of the year, I doubled my daily downloads. Just doing that. And no increased advertising. Actually, I've never advertised for the show at all. So the thing to keep in mind is sharing consistently is the thing that you always hear. It's worthwhile to do it. And if you can take it off of your plate, you can get around it.
Right.
And get to that point and start seeing a little bit of returns or more organic returns.
Right. So now, one thing that I kind of want to stress is that if you are on all of the big social media platforms, and at this point, I'm considering the big social media platforms, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Pinterest, and LinkedIn if you're dealing with other business owners.
MySpace.
No, not
too late. Okay.
No, not MySpace. We have not found a product yet that does all 5 of them.
No.
So some of these are based on Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, because those were the easiest ones to interface with. Some of these are doing Pinterest and Instagram. Some of them are doing Instagram, but they're reminders for you to post on Instagram. They're not automatic. And some of these have plans to go into other venues. Okay, so why don't we start with Tailwind?
Actually, before you go there, if you do know of any that hits all 5 of these platforms and does a library, please let us know. Yes,
because we would love to go check it out. So let's start talking about Tailwind first.
Yeah.
Ronnie Harden from Coffee Talk with Ronnie actually posted about this one. Tailwind looks really interesting. Jeff actually played around with it because it gives you amazing analytics on your posts.
Yes, and it actually seems to pull in the feed of that you've already shared as well. Where is that? No, it's not there. Monitor your domain, maybe insights. I do find it's a little weird to get through. I don't find it particularly intuitive for me, and that could just be a me thing, which is fine.
But it was pretty easy to set up.
It was very easy to set up. The biggest thing I like about it outside of the analytics is it actually tells you some information like you can look at previously, at least in Instagram, you can look at all of the previous things that you shared through there, and you can reshare the stuff very quickly. That might be under drafts as well too. Board list maybe. Yeah, I'm super not familiar with this one. The thing I like is you can add a Chrome extension in very easily. So when you're trying to put stuff from, like, say, your blog into here, you can literally go to the page, push the button on the extension. It will pull up all of the pictures. You can pin to multiple boards if you want to. You can add in comments if you want to right at that point for either Instagram or Pinterest. It makes it very easy. Or you can upload stuff from your desktop, which is very important. I know from some of the people who have strong photography skills, they don't want to put their image from their website up onto Pinterest or Instagram. They want a higher quality image because it's not slowing down their website.
Right.
So it's pretty easy. The schedule, you kind of put in your awake hours, and it will identify. I believe it's supposed to be the best times in that period that it thinks that you can share. And there's also some things I have not been able to get to because I don't have, I only have the trial version at this point, but it'll supposedly tell you industry trends. It has some great stuff for Instagram. I know you can actually do hashtag optimization right through this. I don't know how good they are, but there's just wonderful things. It will track your brand's performance over time. It's a very, very comprehensive tool, it looks like. And to get set up and get going, it's pretty easy. For Instagram, you have to do a little connection to your phone as well, because I believe it uses your phone's mobile app to upload Instagram, but it automates the process. You have to send a verification code to your phone. You put the code back into your Instagram account in Tailwind, and it can connect those up. It actually let me know that you could actually verify your domain through Pinterest. I had never done that, so I've actually got that done now, irregardless of whether or not I keep this tool.
Cool.
Yeah.
That's cool. The one thing that I don't like about Tailwind is the pricing.
Yeah.
This really seems like this is designed for, bigger companies and bigger agencies.
Mm-hmm.
And so it kind of seems like the small business aspect, the blogger aspect of it was kind of an afterthought.
Mm-hmm.
If you're paying for Tailwind monthly, it's $15 per month per account.
And that's the thing. I wish they would give you at least 2 accounts for that, because then you could have your Pinterest and an Instagram, and maybe you should pay more but the pricing goes up steeply from there as well too. Yeah.
So if you're looking at adding both your Instagram and your Pinterest, you're looking at $30 a month, or it's $20 a month if you bill annually.
Mm-hmm.
But if you're really drilling in on your strategy for Pinterest or for Instagram, this might be something worth looking at.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you pay annually, it's $9.99 a month annually.
Yep.
So you're looking at $120 a year.
Or if you want to go up to a little bit more fully featured version annually, and you can afford it, especially if both Instagram and Pinterest are part of your platform, which if one of them are, the other one probably should be. It appears it allows multi-account support. It allows like 5 collaborators. So like if you have a partner somewhere, they can have their own login. But once again, it's a Pinterest or an Instagram account, not both. I don't like that.
Mm-hmm.
But it's $7.99 a month.
Yeah. See, that's why I said, kind of seems like
it's for social media teams.
And that's not $7.99 a month.
Yeah.
It is $800 a month for their professional version.
Yes, let Kristen be clear. That's my biggest problem with Tailwind is the pricing is not set up for small businesses at all. If you really focus heavily on either Instagram or Pinterest, it might be worth it for the analytics though. So it's one of those things. I think it should be maybe in your line of sight if one of those two are important to you. But because of the pricing, if they're not like your main focus for social media, I don't think the analytics are worth the price.
Right. Yeah, no, I kind of agree. And, if you are looking for a solution for just Instagram, Grum is $9.95 a month. That is, that's unlimited posting for up to 2 Instagram accounts. So if you have 2 different Instagram accounts that you're posting to, I really like this one. We got this through AppSumo. So we have like an agency license. We have an unlimited agency license. I can view, my feedback. I know how many people liked and how many people commented. I can schedule things ahead of time. I can do this on my computer. The only thing that I don't like about this is that you have to upload the pictures. You can't, grab them from somewhere else.
Now, if you do that, and Pinterest is still kind of important to you, but you don't want to go full in on the cost of Tailwind, something else to look at is one that we used to use a lot and use a little bit less today because of the library content scheduling we do is Buffer. Buffer does have Pinterest abilities. I don't believe you can use it if you have the free version, though. I believe you might have to pay for it to be able to use Pinterest.
Okay.
I think it's only Facebook and Twitter you get to use if it's not. But it's a great thing. Once again, it plugs in very easily from my phone or from the web browser. You can, while you're scaling the web, if you find things you like, you can pin it really quickly, really easily to come out at scheduled times that you've predetermined. The schedule is not as good as it is in Tailwind, the same way as the scheduler, and our other one that we use a lot, Meet Edgar, they're kind of painful to use. I think it's a little bit easier in Buffer because Buffer isn't as extensive in what you do in it. It's more like your once only shares, and then you can pin stuff that you've done pretty easily. But usually you're going to add it to Buffer if you want to get it in there. So once again, the analytics won't be as good, but I believe the cost of Buffer and for Grum, you can have all of the same social media accounts plus Twitter, Facebook, LinkedIn, and Google+.
Yep. The only thing it doesn't do is the libraries.
Yep. The only thing that would not do is the libraries of like Meet Edgar.
Right.
But now let's talk about Meet Edgar again a little bit. The prices have gone up quite a bit this year.
Yeah.
And it's getting expensive. But we recently learned of a new thing that looks like it's going to be a direct competitor for Meet Edgar. And I think we're probably going to end up switching to it.
Yeah. So, the thing that really drew us to Edgar, even though it was it was pricey for the social media schedulers at that time, is that you could pull in all of this content and it would just keep, you could either just have it, when it got to the end of all your posts, it would start back up at the top, or if you wanted to shuffle them, you could. The thing with Edgar that I don't like is the scheduling, I think, is overcomplicated.
Yes.
You cannot schedule multiple things. Like I can't schedule the 7 a.m. time slot for multiple days. Yeah. It also, you have to schedule the time slot.
And think about it too, it would be like putting your master calendar into Google Calendars, but Google Calendars not being able to interact the way it does, where you can do the reoccurring posts and stuff like that.
Right.
And so it makes it a pain to set up. Once you get it set up, it's fine, but it is painful to set it up.
Yeah.
And the good thing is once you have it set up, it's easy to add accounts to those time frames. Like say, okay, I want to also add in this other account to my 7 a.m. Post. But once again, you still have to.
You have to do it for every day.
Yep.
Yeah. So, we found Recurpost. I'd seen a lot of people talking about it online, so we wanted to check it out. So, first off, I know this is like the most important thing for most people. They actually have a plan that's free.
Mm-hmm. Up to 3 social media accounts.
100 recurring updates and 2 RSS feeds. So you could actually start on this for free. And then, kind of as you grow into it, you can add more. Now, for Ingram Digital Media, we actually have so many social media accounts for Ingram Digital Media because it is 3 different brands across a whole bunch of different channels. So
we'll be going to a large as quickly as possible.
Right. So their medium plan, which is $25 a month, and if you pay annually, you get 2 months for free. You get 10 social media accounts, 1,000 recurring updates, and 10 RSS feeds. So if you've got multiple sites, multiple blogs, you want to, have your podcast come in from one place and your blog come in from another place, you can have multiple RSS feeds. If you're sharing out, things from your mastermind group or from people that you follow, you can put their RSS feeds in to kind of mix up the content so it's not just yours. And then the large plan is $50 a month and it's unlimited everything.
Yeah.
So, and $50 a month, and if you pay annually, you get 2 months for free. If you sign up for Edgar now, it's about $80 a month.
Yeah.
So, that's a huge price difference. And Edgar, right now, Edgar is the size of the medium plan.
Yeah. Sorry.
That's okay. That's where it's going. So, basically for about a third of what you would pay for Edgar, you can get the medium plan in Recurpost. Okay. Yeah. So which platforms does this cover? Currently.
I believe it's just Facebook and Twitter at this point.
And LinkedIn.
Yep.
And I was watching some videos that the owner of the site put together, and he did say that Pinterest is coming. So I don't know what the timeline is for that, but
and
Pinterest.
It's also,
go ahead.
And Facebook, it does profile pages and groups. And I believe typically the way that happens is that's 3 social accounts. At least in other software I've used that let you do it, typically treats them as different accounts. But that's very important too, because a lot of the ones that do Facebook don't do groups.
Yep. And so, like if you're in the Small Biz Life community, our Facebook group, you'll notice that there are posts that go out Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and Saturday. Those are all scheduled. So I don't have to think about those posts going out. They just automatically happen. And that's because in Edgar, I could build libraries. And I know I think for Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, I actually have 2 different posts. So you're not getting the same post every week anymore.
And now for visibility purposes, there's a strong argument to using Facebook Scheduler to schedule your post at least for a week directly into your page, because it helps, I don't know how much, but a little bit with your visibility, which is stunted more from Facebook on pages than it used to be, a lot more than it used to be. But groups, that's not an issue because groups are seen out by anyone who belongs to the group. So definitely if you have scheduled things that you plan to send to your groups, scheduling them from something like this is a no-brainer. Pages, we do. We might go away from that when I start working full-time, but it'll be looking at the amount of time available. And it'd probably be a test for a couple weeks to see if it's worth the increased visibility.
Right. And, here's one thing. So one thing that you can encourage people to do, and, you might even want to promote this, put some money into it, but you can show people on your page, if you go to your page where it says following and you click the drop down menu in your news feed, you can tell people to see first. And if they select that option, your stuff is always going to show up first in their feed. And so, I would recommend that, that you encourage people to do that so that they never miss any of your updates. And then even if you move to a social media scheduler, they're still going to see your stuff first. So you're not going to get dinged for the people that do that. So that's always a good thing, and if you encourage your followers to do that, right, then you're going to get better engagement on your posts. So, that's another strategy to kind of get people involved. So one of the things that I really like about Recurpost is their scheduling. The scheduling feature inside the software first of all, you schedule by library. So you pick the library that you want to go out, and then you decide how many times you want it to go out.
Mm-hmm.
And the nice thing is that you can schedule multiple blocks on the same screen. Whereas with Edgar, you have to like create a time block, put it where you want it, and then you go back to the calendar, and then you have to like go back in and create another one. So if you kind of think about like creating appointments in Google Calendar, right? Think about, okay, here's the one time slot. I can just do this one time slot. Okay, now I got to hit create again, check off everything that I want, and then, save that one. So I think it's a lot easier to do it in Recurpost. Recurpost also gives you the option to you can allow it to pick when it posts.
Mm-hmm.
So you can say, I want it on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. You pick the best time.
Mm-hmm.
And so I reached out to the creator and I said, so, how does that work if I want to schedule multiple posts out of the same library in a day?
Mm-hmm.
And he said that it would pick the best 4 times and it would spread it out throughout the day.
Yeah.
So I thought that was really neat.
And very simple.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep. So you can just pick the best time and run it 4 times that day.
And granted, maybe you could outthink their algorithm, but if you don't have the time, that's kind of stuff larger companies probably might need to do. But when you're a smaller company, I think it's a waste of brain and effort to try and overthink when the best time is, the second best time. Mm-hmm. Let an algorithm choose it for you.
Mm-hmm. Right. And the thing is, too, it will adjust
over time.
So, if it finds a better time to post for you, it's going to do that.
And you have to then go in and change your schedule.
Yeah. So that's a feature that, that I think is great about this one. So I think our strategy, and this lets you put in RSS feeds and, the big thing for me with Recurpost is the pricing and the better scheduling.
Yeah. And to me, this is a no-brainer pricing range right here.
And one other thing that I thought was really cool, and if you want, if you go search for Recurpost on YouTube, there are a couple walkthroughs that he did with business owners to kind of show them how the software works.
Yeah.
Watch one of those. They're probably about, 25 to 30 minutes long, but he really goes through how to do everything in the software.
And remember, if you're starting off and you don't have products yet, or if you're unsure that you think it'll work for you, you get to do 3 accounts for free. Mm-hmm. So you just use your 3 biggest impact accounts, the ones you share to the most, and test it out on those and see if it works out for you. If you have products to where you can sell, then it works. Expand it out to more accounts if you need to. I would avoid spending money here if you're not to a point where you have products to sell, though, unless you use advertising as a strategy on your page.
Right. But, I think, the free version is a really good way to start, especially if you're just starting to build up content, because you do get, the 100 posts that you can put in there. One other thing that I thought was really cool from the video that I watched, you can set up replacement hashtags. And so what that means is that if you post something, say you're in, the video I watched, the woman did social media scheduling for people. If the word social media appears in your post, it will change it to hashtag social media.
And I believe it doesn't auto change it. It prompts you to ask you if you want it to. So you can, if you don't want it to do that, you don't need it to. But if you want it to do that, you can. It's very easy. It's like updating a misspelling, but instead of misspelling it, you actually make it into a hashtag misspelling probably.
Right. And the thing is too, is, you can, and it's not just for hashtags, like that's what it's designed for, but it's basically like a find and replace in Word. Mm-hmm. So, like if you've got, if you're, you've got Small Biz Life, I can type in SBL and it will say, do you want to replace that with Small Biz Life?
Oh, that's cool. I didn't notice that.
Yeah. So you can also use it for like shortcut things as well.
That's awesome. Yeah.
Yeah. So, like World Builders Anvil's kind of,
Lots of characters.
Lots of characters. But you could type in WA and it'll say, hey, do you want to replace
WBA
this?
are the initials. I always leave the middle initial in.
I'm sorry, WBA. So, but, I think it's got a lot of really neat features in it. And, I know that we've talked about this before. If you're struggling with hashtags, go check out hashtagify.me. This is a great service that is free that you can type in hashtags you use and it will tell you how big of a scope that hashtag has and it will tell you related hashtags.
They're sort of like a step away from it in their usage in social media, but it'll show their popularity. So sometimes it's like you think of a word and you go look it up and it's not that popular, but there you see the ones around it and maybe it's a slightly cut down version or maybe it adds an S. That's like, is it a writing tip? It's writing tips is the better tag to use. It'll let you know that.
Right. Well, so when I did it for Small Biz Life, I was using the Small Biz hashtag and a lot of people use that, but more people use the entrepreneur hashtag.
Yeah.
And so whenever I post something to social, I post Small Biz and entrepreneur. Another one I found that was highly related to those that was used a lot was success. So if you look at my stuff that's coming out on Twitter, Small Biz, entrepreneur, success.
Yeah. And the thing is too, you can even elaborate that to make it a little bit more complicated where when I do a number of images a week for World Builders Anvil, I have one per day, but I use a different hashtag a day. So I can have an image that's actually focused to try and get the attention of a writer when it's a writing tip day, and an attention to get a world builder on a world builder day and a role player on a role player day. So I can actually then have images that are supporting the direct hashtags I'm using.
Yeah, no, I think it's, again, if you're in Small Biz HQ, this week we talked all about automation, right? And when we're talking about automation, these are the kinds of things we're talking about. Yep. Create content one time, get it in a library, and just let it go.
Let it automate, and the thing is, over the next 2 months, we're going to go over the most common ways people deliver content next month. And then the month after that, we'll go over social media strategies in a lot more depth in Small Biz HQ, which I think are the two biggest things because I'm a big believer, whether you're a brick and mortar store, anything that you're doing, you can support with delivering content free online. I mean, if you're selling yarn to a town of 30,000 people, why not also have a web wing, like say yarn.com, where you have this website where you can also sell to people all over the states or the world, so you don't feel limited by stores anymore, but understand that good content will help drive people to you. And if you're strictly only a local business, your marketing strategy is to target local people who are part of your avatar. But if you could expand it out and maybe ship your stuff further out, you can use your store to hold inventory that you can sell either in the store or out through the web.
Right. And, I know a lot of local businesses that are doing a great job with their social media.
Yeah.
Restaurants, bakeries, anything where you are selling something that is visual, and even services can really benefit from social media. You can do really quick videos answering frequently asked questions that people have. People are looking to build relationships with you.
And the great thing with being a small business is you have less people making the decisions, so it's easier to share out what people consider authentic stuff through social media and content, which is a lot harder for large companies to do because there's so many fingers in that pie. Where here it's you as the small business owner get to make the choice and share yourself authentically, help people for real, and get the benefit of helping attract people, getting those first touches towards a sale out of the way through outreaching over across the internet.
Right. So, take a look at Tailwind, Grum, and Recurpost.
Yeah.
Okay. And we're going to have links to all three of them in the show notes for episode 75 this week. We'll also have the coupon code that we mentioned for Small Biz HQ which if you don't want to have to go into the episode, it's March FOR, the number 5.
Yeah.
Okay. But that will be in the show notes as well. If you have any questions about this, the best place to always reach us is in our Facebook group, facebook.com/groups/smallbizlife. And go get scheduling. We'll see you next time.
Go schedule the day. This was Small Biz Life.